So my first area, Middleton, we lived in a duplex just by ourselves, and that was interesting. It was kind of scary. Our neighbors were pretty loud, and it was just me and my companion. And one night we had to go over and ask them to turn down their music because we couldn't go to sleep. I think it was pretty late, but they were really nice people, and they were sorry. But it was nice living on our own, but at the same time, I don't know, it kind of got lonely a little bit. When I moved to Nampa, we lived with a member, and she was amazing. I love her, and her home just felt so comfortable, and we were able to go home and to see how she was doing, and she would love to hear about our day. And we had a kitchen, and we would buy our own food, but she would also offer to make us food sometimes. And it was just nice living in a member's home that had the Spirit, and we felt more part of the ward, I think. And there's different experiences. It definitely depends on the members and where you live. I've had both good and bad experiences, and it's just, I don't know, it depends where you are, if it's good or bad. But you make the best of it. It's up to you to, you're living in someone's home, so you respect their rules, but you also, you realize that they're offering this help for you so that you can do your job. So Sundays we would go to church, and we would usually text all our investigators or call them and remind them to come to church. And we try to find members to bring them. Sometimes that was hard, but we would go. Sometimes we would have two wards, and so we would go to two. And then after that, we would go visit families and our investigators, and sometimes even tracting. And that was our Sundays. And then we would report our numbers from that previous week to our zone leaders of our lessons and how things went, if we're struggling with things, and what we're doing good at. And then Monday, P-Day, we would email our families, we would go shopping and do those things that we needed to do for that week. And then that night we would go back out and teach. And then during the week we would continue to do those things, study, tracking, visiting members and less actives and investigators. And then in the morning, one morning we would have district meeting, and that was always fun because we got to visit with the other missionaries and learn new things, new teaching methods, and talk about our struggles and our strengths and what we need help with. And then we would have lunch together, and then we would go back out and do missionary work. Thursdays we would have weekly planning. So that took up our whole morning, and it was either really good or really long. But I loved weekly planning because once you did that, you didn't worry about your upcoming week. You were prepared, and you knew what your plans were. We would also have zone meetings where our whole zone would get together, and it's kind of like a district meeting, just more information. And that's where we would get information from our mission president, from our zone leaders who got it from the assistant to the president. And then we would have mission conferences. I think we only had one where the whole mission got together, and that was really neat because we got to see everyone. And I think it was Elder Perry that came, and we all got to shake his hand, and that was really cool to hear him, and him speaking directly to our mission. So that was really cool. Other than that, we didn't have a lot of, you have a lot of meetings, but those were the typical meetings every week.